Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning in this week and checking out the video. I want to highlight Dustin Johnson's swing against Bubba Watson's swing. Dustin just won the U.S. Open this week, and we all know about his superior length to everybody. He's #1 in the PGA Tour this year with driving distance, averaging a mere 316 yards per drive. Bubba's right there with him. But what he really excelled at this week in the U.S. Open was hitting fairways. He was tied for 18th for the week in hitting fairways, and that didn't count the 3 times that he tried to drive the green on the 17th. So he would have been a little bit higher had they counted those numbers as well. So I wanted to highlight where a guy like this, who, and it wasn't just a one-week thing for him. He's had success at Pebble Beach a lot and some of the really narrower courses out there. So I wanted to highlight where he gets some of his accuracy from against a guy like Bubba, who tends to work the golf ball a little bit more. So I flipped Bubba's swing over here, so he's righty, and it's a little bit easier to see some of the comparisons we're going to make. And I've started them both in their backswing, and you can see both of them have tremendous extension. And if you want to talk about where they're getting their power and their leverage from, first, you can note the high hands right here. Their hands are super high over their head. Incredible swing or arc generated with that high of hands. You can see shoulders have turned dramatically. Let me get the line in there. You can see the shoulder turn they've made right there. Really separated their shoulders from their hips and really have turned their hips back away from the golf ball. So from here, you can see their club is past parallel. They've made massive turns ready to come back and unload into the golf ball. So I'm going to play Bubba's swing through here first, and it's going to go pretty slow. I've used Bubba's swing before, but he really generates a lot of power with his lower body and really whipping the golf club. And you can see here, gets that club parallel to the ground. Hands are just in front of the right thigh. And then as he comes through impact, you can see just releasing that golf club nicely. And I'm just going to pause him right here in this position, and we're going to zoom in on his hands in just a second. Now, as we look at Dustin, he's going to get in very similar positions to what Bubba just got into. He's just going to unwind his body, square his hips up. You can see his shoulders are still lagging behind. Club shaft is parallel to the ground, just slightly before his hands get to his right thigh, but pretty darn similar to Bubba. You can see the upper body starting to lean back just a little bit. Impact position almost identical to what we saw with Bubba. We see the left side leaning back just a little bit, creating leverage, helping that golf ball get up in the air. But here's where the big difference comes in. And we're going to put the hands in the identical spot, and then we're going to take a zoom in and see what their hands are doing. And you can see here with Dustin how his left hand, how his glove hand is remaining on top. What that tells us is that his club face isn't turning over as rapidly. With Bubba, you can see that his bottom hand or his right hand is turned over pretty dramatically there. Their bodies, their head, their legs, identical spots. But what's different is their hands. And so what Dustin's doing to create his accuracy is not releasing his hands. He's rotating his body as much as he can. He's set his club in his backswing, and he's held on as long as he could. It's called a cock and lock motion. Bubba, we all know he loves to work the ball. He hit that shot in the Masters a few years ago. Loves to work the golf ball with his hands. Not always the most accurate shot, but gets the job done when you want to work it. So, really this position, having these quiet hands in the golf swing, letting them just kind of hold off and really release the golf club underneath his body versus Bubba really wrapping the club around. And I'll play Bubba's swing through here a little bit more so you can really see that right hand roll over the top there. You can see full glove action, and Dustin's going to start to do the same thing, but you can see how much more gradual of a motion he's coming through and releasing the golf club with. So if you're looking for distance, get those hands high, leverage the upper body against the lower body. But if you're looking for accuracy, really try to hold the hands off and just rotate your body. It's going to help you hit it a lot straighter. I hope that helped out and gives you a good visual of how to hit it straighter using some quiet hands. And if you need some more help, come and see me.